Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Way to Win Virtual Gala. Honoring Rob Locasio and Nina B. Mattis. Featuring Christine Quinn and Win staff and clients. With appearances by Brooke Shields, Wes Moore, Jeremiah Brent, Brooke Baldwin, Bill Ritter, and Michael Symon. And a special thanks to this year's Balloon Challenge sponsor, AmTrust Financial. And this year's visionary sponsors, L Brands and Victoria's Secret. Now, please welcome tonight's host, Errol Lewis.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first ever virtual Way to Win Gala. We appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in tonight to support Women in Need, known to all of us as WIN. They are New York City's largest provider of family shelter and supportive housing. I also want to extend a special thanks to tonight's honorees, Rob Locasio and Nina B. Mattis, for being the driving force behind this incredible event. Homelessness continues to be one of the most significant challenges facing New York City each day. Last year, an average of 59,000 people, including 21,000 children, spent the night in a homeless shelter in New York City. So WIN, with the help of their Way to Win Gala supporters, works every day to provide shelter and support for New York's homeless families and advocate for approaches that can help families find stability. In 2021, WIN's services will be more important than ever. And that's why we're so grateful to all of you for joining us tonight. For the first time, you'll get an inside look at WIN's shelters, the people that they support, the programs, and what the programming means for the mothers and the kids who get it. We know that holding this gala virtually is still the only truly safe option. And there are benefits to this format. Tonight, we are welcoming more first-time attendees than ever before. And while we miss seeing each of your faces in the crowd, you can still be seen tonight by participating in the first ever virtual balloon challenge. Christine Quinn's going to be back to kick off the challenge properly later on. To those of you who are new to this, she's going to explain what the challenge is and its potential to change lives. If you're itching to get involved in the challenge, feel free to get a head start by texting your pledge to 646-891-4946. And finally, if you like what you see tonight and want to share WIN's inspiring message, we encourage you to post on social media. Use the hashtag #WayToWin and tag WIN in all of your posts. So with that, it is time to settle in for tonight's program.
It's been a struggle. This past year has honestly been a struggle.
The minute I would go outside, I would have anxiety attacks, I would have panic attacks.
I thank God that I'm still here.
Amen.
By the grace of God, I'm still here.
It was a scary time. No one knew what was going on, and we really weren't sure what we needed to do. The first thing that we heard all across the city was stay home, don't go outside. Our staff couldn't do that. They're essential workers. We had families that lost jobs. Because there was anxiety just running rampant throughout the building. Our families were worried, our staff were worried. They were worried about their own safety, the safety of their families, and worried about the families in the building.
So take care of yourself, okay?
I think our families were very happy to see that we didn't abandon them.
We're stuck in the house. Like, I was always crying, I'm breaking down.
This past year has been very difficult. It's been a strain on staff, it's been a strain on children.
Some of the first things we did during COVID was making sure that we only had a certain amount of staff in the building during a certain period of time. Our security team, they are really our protection.
In these two buildings, we have over 1,500 people.
Throughout COVID, they wanted to make sure that they screened everyone before they came into the building.
Exit doors is locked, everything's safe.
We increased cleaning to 4 times a day. We gave all of our families masks. We gave our staff shields to wear, sanitizer all throughout the building.
I have absolutely zero complaints, they always come to my rescue all the time.
Whenever there was news that came out related to the pandemic, we communicate that information to our families and to our staff.
My son, they got him the laptop, and it was brand new laptop.
I use a computer for Zoom classes.
The children, we applaud them every day.
Good job.
Kids were so excited. So what our child care teachers did was they would create packets for our children, and they went to every door and put the packets on their door and a note from their teacher saying, "I'm still thinking about you. We hope to be able to see you soon." The COVID didn't stop any of our services. Our staff continued to do everything they did pre-COVID, but in a virtual environment. Using FaceTime, using Zoom, we didn't stop anything. Our income building staff continued our computer training to get the skills that they needed to get jobs. They helped them with connectivity issues. They helped them with just logging on. So we went to a virtual platform for everything.
Volunteering is a really valuable part of WIN, and we haven't been able to continue our in-person programs. So we really had to get creative to make sure that we were offering a variety of programs, even in a virtual setting. We had people host yoga classes, music class, a teen chorus, and martial arts.
A lot of people were hesitant about getting the vaccine. So we have staff members who have gotten the vaccine, and we labeled them vaccine ambassadors. Our staff are our heroes. We've learned so much, just more innovative. We've learned a lot of new skills that we're definitely going to keep.
Come in, Shan.
COVID really had the potential of really hurting a lot of organizations, but I think we've grown. We opened 3 new buildings throughout COVID. We've moved families out of shelter.
Oh yes, oh yes.
WIN really stood the test, and we did a lot of things first. I couldn't be prouder.
Thank you to our honoree Rob Locasio. He's the founder and CEO of LivePerson and an incredible partner to us through his foundation Feeding NYC. Thank you, honoree Nina Mattis, a former WIN board member, a long-term supporter of WIN and our families. Thank you to our visionary sponsor, L Brands and Victoria's Secrets, our balloon sponsor, AM Trust Financial. I also want to thank our incredible leader sponsors for their support. Cheever Development, City, Dr. Eric Moscow and Mrs. Regina Moscow, Sculpture Capital Management, and Slate Property Group. I want to thank our volunteers. They enhance all of the services we provide our families. We couldn't do it without them. I want to thank our junior board, the partners, our board of directors, and in particular our chair, the unstoppable Cindy Armine Klein. I want to thank our host tonight, New York One, CNN's Errol Lewis. There is no one who better encapsulates the stories of our families in his work than Errol. COVID-19 hit New York City hard, but we all know the impact was not felt equally. WIN moms and their children face unimaginable adversity every day, but even more from day one of the pandemic. When the city shut down, schools closed, leaving students in the dark without the Wi-Fi or devices they needed to get online for remote learning, our children were literally forgotten by the city. And hundreds of WIN moms lost their jobs, setting many of them back in their quest for long-term independence and permanent housing. In cases where our moms were able to keep their jobs, they were deemed essential workers, needing childcare during a shutdown to continue earning a paycheck. It takes determination and resolve to protect your loved ones under these incredibly difficult circumstances. But for any of you who have met our families, it should come as no surprise that they've demonstrated fierce courage against tremendous odds this past year. And I also want to take a moment to recognize the dedication and strength of WIN's staff. They didn't falter, they didn't shake, they didn't step back once in the face of the tragic pandemic, because as they've told me, they will end homelessness one family at a time. From the beginning, we moved quickly to address our clients' immediate needs. We created the Win Coronavirus Task Force. We invested over $200,000 in PPE, sanitation products, and cleaning supplies. We set up on-site food pantries at all our shelters and supportive housing residents. We set up rec centers at each of our family shelters to provide space for children to engage in remote learning. More than 500 children use these learning rec centers. We advocated fiercely for our students to get the tools they needed and they deserved to be successful through remote learning. Because of our work, we secured connected iPads from the city for over 2,000 students living in Win shelters. We raised funds and donations for thousands of hotspots and service plans and set up our own IT help desk for our families because the Department of Education's was insufficient. Through all the darkness of this time, we found things to celebrate. While I'm incredibly proud of the work we've done at Win to help families stay on the track toward employment and permanent housing over the past year, the pandemic is still threatening to bring more families than ever to our doors. Job losses amongst very low-income New Yorkers could bring hundreds of thousands of people into the shelter system. Win has forcefully advocated for increases to the value of city housing vouchers to help fix this crisis. And we continue to sound the alarm that vulnerable families cannot wait for rental relief. But rental relief is only one piece of the puzzle. At Win, we often hear from families living in our shelters how they feel trapped in a terrible and traumatic cycle marked by housing instability. This cycle of entering, exiting, and re-entering homelessness has been shaped by systemic racism and a lack of resources for underserved communities, disproportionately impacting Black and Latinx families often headed by women. Prior to the pandemic, we helped more than 700 families exit shelter for permanent housing. That success, breaking the cycle of homelessness in an intergenerational way, proves what we at Win have known for a long time. It is within our power to end the family homelessness crisis. Most importantly, it's within New York City's power to end the family homelessness crisis. At Win, we've seen what's possible when our families receive the proper support. It's time for New York City to take the steps that can make a difference. Thanks to you, we're going to do everything in our power to ensure the next administration delivers the sweeping changes our city so desperately needs. And in the meantime, Win will keep fighting for the families who are in our shelters to be able to leave and never, ever have to return. So the question for you is, will you continue to join our fight?
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Ritter of Channel 7 Eyewitness News, and at a time when we're celebrating first responders, I want to take a few seconds and celebrate a group of first responders who often don't get the credit they're due. I'm talking about the first responders of Win, who have a deeply profound sense of serving a group that has, most unfortunately for all of us, grown far too quickly. This is a humanitarian crisis we're going through, intensified by the pandemic, and what we're seeing is that a crisis like this affects everyone, homeless or not. Simply put, it's about how to treat each other, because in the end, that's the first step to solving this complicated crisis.
As a mother, I know the importance of having a supportive, loving home, and Win is providing that to families every day. They work alongside clients to create a path that is focused on long-term success. They look at the bigger picture and work on the root issues. That is why I think they can ultimately end the cycle of homelessness.
The most exciting part of the evening, the Balloon Challenge. First, thank you to AM Trust Financial for sponsoring this year's Balloon Challenge. Any other year would be together in a ballroom packed full of beautiful balloons for purchase. This year, we're asking you to text your pledge and include a message showing your support for Win. When you do, your balloons will pop up on your screen and everyone will be able to see you participate. In any other year, the fun of the Balloon Challenge is feeling proud of your individual purchase. This year, though, we're making the Balloon Challenge a team sport. We each may be sending individual messages, but they build into a collective. So we ask that every person watching tonight sends their support so that we can all work together to reach our goal of raising $250,000 through balloons tonight. So now I want everyone to take out their phone and create a new text message, and this is where you're sending it, 646-891-4946. Then type your name, then type the amount of your pledge and a short message of support for Win and our families. Or even a note to your friends challenging them to match or surpass your pledge. Then hit send. Remember to hit send or we don't get it. At any point tonight, any point, you can text in a pledge and take part in ending the cycle of homelessness in New York City. There is no minimum and there is no maximum donation and no limit on how many times you can text in a pledge. $100 provides 10 children with an interactive workshop on nutrition and healthy eating. $1,000 prepares 5 teens for college through tours, financial aid, scholarship workshops, and career panels. Talk about ending homelessness. $2,000 supplies a Win child care site with diapers, baby wipes, and formulas for a month. $5,000 provides refresher computer training for 10 moms who have lost their jobs because of COVID-19. $15,000 provides 500 hours of online tutoring to Win students. $25,000 sends 16 children to Camp Win, our very own STEAM-based camp. And $50,000 provides skills training, resume writing workshops, on-site job fairs, and employment counseling for 25 moms for 1 year. Together, we can reach $250,000 by the end of tonight and provide all of these services and more to the women and families who need them most. After you've donated, feel free to use the chat to call out your friends and guests, challenging them to join in donating. I just spent some time with young children at one of our shelters. They told me they wanted to be a surgeon, a police officer, an artist. They wanted to be somebody who made fantasies come true. You can make all of those dreams and more come true if you buy balloons tonight. Thank you.
My name is Lourdes. I have 4 kids, and my dream is to finish my master in social services. My mother is from Venezuela. My father is Dominican. My father brought me here when I was 10. I started working with Chase as a banker. I also was in sales, and I used to be the #1 sale for 6 months in the district. Things was going well. I used to get good wage.
I had a very good childhood. I was born and raised in the Bronx. I went to Catholic school down the block from my house. We visited Massachusetts in the summer times. Everything was beautiful, and then one day I met a man, and after that my whole world got turned upside down. He was very charming. He was very engaging, and all of those qualities was what enabled him to become manipulative.
Life became very difficult. I was in a bad domestic violence situation. It was very scary. It was a lot of stuff going on. And I had to get out of my house.
The relationship took a change. And before I knew it, there were things that were said to me that I didn't appreciate, derogatory things said to me, and then it eventually escalated into him putting his hands on me. He would pull out emotions in me to get me to feel sorry for him, and it was convincing at the time. He'd gotten thrown out of his apartment, and next thing I knew I was pregnant, and we had nowhere to go. I had never been outside of that little bubble on Eastchester Road. I didn't know anything about the real world. So I took my daughter, we went to the shelter, a 90-day domestic violence shelter. And in that moment, I got a crash course in life.
I lost my job. I lost my house. I lost my clothes. I lost everything I had. I need to be safe for me and my kids. To me, it was like, what am I gonna do? I had to start from zero.
I've left several times and come back several times. I put a lot into that relationship in hoping that the love and care would keep my family together, and it just didn't work out. The turning point for me was one day we were fighting, and my oldest son grabbed my other 2 children and took them out the room. And my heart broke because I said, in that moment, that 5-year-old child had more sense than both the parents in the room. And I knew at that moment, that's when I had to really start making ways to get away for real. And I left and I never went back.
Hello, I'm Wes Moore, and at Robinhood, we are very, very proud sponsors of Win and all the incredible work that this organization does. For 30 years, Win has been on the front lines in the fight to end homelessness in New York City. And what makes Win so unique and so remarkable is not just the fact that this organization has provided safe housing to thousands of women and their children, but also that Win is committed to ensuring that these families receive the critical services to succeed on their own. I am humbled to stand with you and support you always.
Hello, Win. Brooke Baldwin here. I remember having the honor of emceeing a Win Gala a couple of years ago, and I was so moved by the women who spoke on that stage that evening, and I am continuously moved by how Win transforms the lives of women and children in New York City. I have such respect for this organization. Chris Quinn, I love you. Everyone, have a wonderful evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. My name is Maureen.
My name's Robert. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And here we are with an interview outside.
Oh, it's good. Nice weather. I'm interviewing you for the Win Honorary this year.
I'm very excited.
Can you tell me a little bit about your work experience?
Yeah, so in 1995, I started an internet company, and then I invented when you chat online for customer care. If you've ever been on a website, I invented that technology in '97. And so today we're about 1,300 employees, and we're a public company. And so, yes, I'm fortunate, very lucky. When I started my company, I slept on a couch the first 2 years because I lost my money on my first company. I was only 27, but somebody I was working with to help me get my life back in order, he said, go volunteer at a church and go to a shelter at a church and go help and sleep there. A lot of times, if you don't know their lives, you make a lot of judgments about people, and you realize something happened in their life and they need to get back on their feet. And I ended up finding Women in Need and then found the Jenny Clark shelter. They said, go there and feed families, and that's how it all got started. Now we've fed over close to 100,000 families since that time.
Wow, beautiful. And I happen to be one of the people you fed.
Well, I can't believe that.
Yeah, you sure did.
So what was it like?
A few months after we got into the shelter was when we got the first turkey. You know, when that came, my kids were very happy. Before we got the turkey, the family was not the way we used to be. We used to be a close-knit family. But because of what happened to us, things were falling apart. Even our relationship, because I was almost in a state of depression. But when that came, it brought us together because in the process of preparation, honestly, you need to see the excitement on my kids' face. We all did it together. It actually brought us together for the first time since we moved into the shelter. So it was a very great thing for us. So you actually played a very important role in getting to where I am today.
It's amazing that the turkey and the dinner, it's got this magic to it, you know, and I think part of it is because there's goodness in that box. Remember, there's 500 people that are packing in the morning, and they're just so happy and joyful, and there's kids now putting letters in, so that box comes with a lot of love and joy.
I would like to know, is there something specific about Win? Why did you choose Win?
Look, we found it accidentally. But why I've stayed with Win and why we work with them year after year is that I think they're extraordinary. And Christine Quinn and Bonnie, who was before Christine, they just have amazing leadership. Giving people the chance to move on, and that's what I don't think people realize. Shelters are temporary places for people to get back in order. You know, I'm just always inspired by the people who work there like yourself. If the whole world could be like a little Win,
honestly,
I think we would have a kinder, gentler, more loving place.
Yes, I agree with you because I've been on both sides.
Yes.
A client and now a staff.
Okay, high five there, high five.
Coming up, we're going to hear again from Win's clients about their experience with the organization. We'll also enjoy the musical stylings of some of Win's most adorable clients.
Now let's take a look at our balloon challenge progress. Say that 3 times fast. It's incredibly heartwarming to see each donation popping up on the screen, and so exciting to see so many new names among the familiar names. Remember, if you haven't already, there is still plenty of time to participate in the balloon challenge. Text 646-891-4946 with your pledge, even after this event has come to a close. But why wait? Because people will talk if they don't see your name by the end. You can do it later, but why do you want people talking? You know what I'm saying? Now, what does that mean? That means that there'll be more time for you to give, and also time to tell your friends about Win. Even if they haven't tuned in tonight, they can support Win's mission by texting their pledge to the same number or by visiting our website to become better acquainted with our organization, with our great families, and with all our terrific staff does. So once again, thank you for giving so much support to Win already, but keep giving. Give till it hurts, and then give more. Thank you.
When I got the Win, They give me milk for my kids. They give me also baby milk, even infant milk and stuff. They give me diapers.
She was really stressed out. I was feeling like really bad for her. So I was like, let me just help her out, this and that.
When I got to my unit, I was able to breathe, finally.
They handed me the keys and they walked me to the unit. I looked around at the room and I said, okay, kids, this is it. I remember sitting on the bed, starting to sob, and my daughter came up to me and she put her arm around me and she said, don't worry, Mommy, it's gonna be okay. And I knew that in that moment, they were what was gonna get me through.
The 3 children were definitely a handful. They at times didn't use objects very well. We were always cautious that things wouldn't fling across the room. My immediate reaction was that I needed to help this family. I needed to make sure that the mother felt secure to leave her children with me. She definitely expressed needing personal time, just time to think, time to put herself together.
Miss Ortiz, okay, all right. You want to take them on trips? Thank you very much. I appreciate it, because those little moments, that first day when my kids went on that trip, I actually was able to take a deep breath and just inhale the moment.
Having a place to lead your kids that you know they're going to be secure and that you trust. And I know it has to do a lot with the way you see people here, and the people we have here. The help they bring every time is tremendous. And when you see that, you feel secure. I was able to go to job fairs. I was able to go to trainings. I was able to start my college again and get my degree, my bachelor's degree, which is what's very important to me, so I can move forward with my life.
I had a caseworker that said, you need to work. He said, I have a job for you. He didn't even say I should apply. He just handed me the application and said, here, you're going to apply for this, and I'm going to assist you with getting this job. And sure enough, I filled out the application. He put in a word for me, and the next thing I know, I was employed. The caseworker that believed in me and my children being there for me, that's how I found April.
Hi everybody, I am Jeremiah Brent, and I am a huge fan of the Win organization. I would first discover them when we created Coalition for Kindness during the first lockdown, and one of the things that I found so fascinating is what they are able to do and the services they provide. You know, as a guy who was raised by a single mother, I understand better than anybody that you're one thing away from your entire life unraveling. I want to give a special thank you to all the staff and volunteers. You are the heartbeat that makes Win function, and it's more important than ever that we show up for each other. So thank you for all the hard work you do. Thank you for letting me be a small part of it, and keep it up.
You know, working with Win has been a real blessing for me. Over the past couple of years, I've had the privilege of working closely with the leadership team and have met many of the faculty. And I can tell you, I am so impressed by the level of expertise that they have in supporting our families, our clients, and our renters. But what I'm completely moved by is the fact that they treat them like their own family. They are genuinely concerned about them. Our CEO and President, Christine Quinn, calls it service with love. And I can also tell you they are amazing advocates, working closely with the city, the state, and the government to change the outcome for these families. So thank you so much for attending this gala. And with your very generous support, together we will end the cycle of homelessness.
As crazy as it seems, this is what happens when a bunch of people sit at home and do great things. Now let's take a moment to check back in with Lourdes and April, honestly the 2 most important people here tonight, who will share with us how Win's programs continued to shape their lives.
At the beginning, when I got to Win, I was desperate to get a new place, but I wasn't ready. Now, with the help that Ms. Cole gave me, I got my bachelor, I got my credit score, I got my good job, so I'm ready to move out and move forward with my life. My credit score was 200 and something. Ms. Cole helped me on the process to build my credit score, and now I have 700.
She's tenacious. She doesn't let the circumstances of life hold her back. And she's really a go-getter. She's really a go-getter.
I was thinking about getting my bachelor's. When I started talking to Miss Coach, she motivated me and she was like, you can do it. She been cooperating with me in everything. Everything. She even called me sometimes and say, you okay? The kids are okay. She really believed in me.
Today, I am a wireless network engineer. I am in charge of a large housing facility. All of the residents have free Wi-Fi, and I maintain everything for the service. Once I was able to get into the role, I blossomed. I really blossomed. I'm just the Wi-Fi girl. Everyone knows me. I don't care what other job I ever had. This will be the most fulfilling job because I know that I provide something to my community that is life-saving. Kids are doing great. They've settled down a lot. Now that we are in our own space, they're blossoming into beautiful young men and women. There was a time that I was homeless, working, going to school, and taking care of my kids at the same time.
Everybody has a story, and every story is different. I have a lot of hope. I see myself doing my master. I see myself in social services. I see myself in something big.
Before my father closed his eyes, on his deathbed, he said, April, you are my success story, and that's all I asked for. And in that moment, I never felt so proud to know that that man knew. Yeah, I may have taken a little road to the left. I'm left-handed, so I'm gonna go to the left, but I eventually came back on the right path and had the life that he envisioned for me. I just stuck it out, and I am so blessed with the outcome.
Win staff and volunteers work every day to make sure that clients have the resources that they need to succeed. But success, especially at a young age, often means developing hobbies, practicing creativity, and having fun. Please join me in taking an inside look at the Building Beats program, where young clients learn how to compose music using computer software. Check this out.
What is a beat?
What is a beat? I wasn't ready for that.
What is a beat? What is a beat? Beat.
Building Beats is a music production workshop for our kids in grades K through 12.
So try to play something with both your hands on that click.
Walking the kids step by step through understanding the process of creating beats. They are learning the technical components of beat making. They're collaborating with their friends, sharing what they've created.
Jason, that was fire! Fuego! Yeah?
They're creating music, right? They're selecting various sounds. It could be from instruments. It could even be a snippet of a voice. They are creating the instrumentals and putting them together.
All right, so who wants to make a beat with all of these sounds? Oh, I saw so many hands go up.
The kids are really learning how they can tap into their creativity and create something unique. Kirthy is helping them to discover how the things around them can come to life, and you can use these things to create music.
1, 2, 3.
So it's really a holistic approach to STEM-based programming. It's really just a fun experience for the kids. And the final product is amazing.
Unbelievable. This is awesome. We're so excited to see all of these balloons and the support that comes with them.
Hey everybody, Michael Symon here. I just wanted to give a little shout out to everybody involved with WIN. The people working there, the people attending, the people watching, the people donating. Thank you very much for helping out a fantastic cause.
Our group of young professionals has been dedicating our time, resources, and passions to the family of WIN for many years. It's been an inspiring journey for us, whether in virtual Halloween parties or through participating in the Backpack Buddies Drive. I hope our efforts are part of bringing forth a more equitable world. This is all made possible by the staff at WIN. From the after-school leads on site to the volunteer services team, our partnership together is essential. Your support amplifies what we can accomplish together, and we are so grateful.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Julia Butler, Managing Director at KKR in Real Estate and a member of WIN's Board of Directors. Please join me in welcoming my dear friend and one of tonight's esteemed honorees, Nina B. Matus. Nina, welcome. For more than 4 decades, Nina has been a leading mind in commercial real estate and one of the city's most powerful women. In my eyes, her most notable credit, however, is being a mentor. So let's begin by talking about how you think the COVID-19 pandemic has specifically affected women and children.
When businesses closed down and began laying off their staff, women, especially BIPOC women, were overrepresented in the layoffs of some of the hardest hit industries, like leisure, hospitality, retail, and education. Our waitresses, daycare workers, cashiers watch their jobs vanish at a higher rate than the men who hold those same positions. Half of WIN's working moms lost their job or hours because of the pandemic. Without a job, it's difficult to move into permanent housing. And when schools closed and parents had to figure out distance learning for their children, that burden often fell on the female head of household. Remote learning is hard, especially when you don't have the right equipment and Wi-Fi like so many low-income kids. Children are separated from friends and social supports like counseling, school nurses, and tutoring.
How can WIN help families and children in shelter today?
We need to make sure that this pandemic doesn't result in an epidemic of homelessness, and I cannot think of an organization that is better equipped to help with these issues than WIN. It's not just a roof to put over these families' heads. They have social workers on site that provide a holistic plan and approach to get families out of shelter and into permanent homes of their own. Vital programs like income building, job search assistance, life skills, education, and childcare. They're dedicated to making sure the mothers that go through their program leave prepared to be reliable employees, build their savings, find stable housing, and provide for their families. WIN ensures kids have all kinds of tools and equipment for students in a remote learning environment and access to online tutoring. They also offer children recreation and Camp WIN, programs that not only help children learn and have fun, but give moms the ability to work, attend classes, and look for housing.
What does it mean to you to be honored here today?
Oh my, it means so much for this incredible organization to choose to honor me. You know, when you're given a platform, you need to use every chance you can to bring attention to the issues that really matter, particularly in a moment like this.
Thank you so much for your support, for everything that you do for women everywhere.
Julia, it's really been a pleasure to be with you.
Wow! I mean, wow! What an incredible performance! You all are killing it! But before we log off for the evening, let's check in with the progress of the Balloon Challenge one last time. And let me remind you 2 things. I know we can do this, and I know where you live. Have a great rest of your night. Be safe.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this reimagined version of the Way to Win Gala. On behalf of everybody at Win, we thank you for your support, and we'll see you again next year, hopefully in person.